We're a pretty small dealership, relatively speaking. We're not a big one like a lot of the bigger city dealers, so it's a pretty small, tight-knit little shop. But I can give you guys a little tour of that. We can go across the street. We can check out the body shop. I don't know if any of you guys are interested in body repairs or anything like that, but you can kind of just check out the facility, see what it's all about. Primary tools. This is all you guys need nowadays. But if you guys are gonna want to get into mechanics and say in the dealership end of things, vehicles are pretty well built nowadays. You hardly ever end up getting into a wheel bearing or a brake job or something along the lines of mechanical components, but most of what we do is complicated electrical. So that's something that if you guys want to get anywhere in the auto tech, you got to know the electrical. But everything's done through a little iPad. This gives you the list of all TDCs, flashes, recalls, RRTs, what they call rapid response transmittals, more or less a glorified term for a service bulletin when it's under warranty. But it gives you a little breakdown of all your modules and how they communicate over the bus systems. Bring up, it's got a flash, this one's got a flash available. Gives you a little service bulletin number for improvements. If you guys want to pass it around, you can play around with it, take a look at it. We got one parts guy, one service guy. I guess I consider myself the service guy. Well, our master tech back there, Mark Tavla, he started off in the auto tech program. Been here since he was pretty much 18 years old, right out of auto tech. We got our fair share of brake jobs, service work, regular maintenance work, yeah. I'd say 75% of the stuff we do is warranty work, which usually entails some sort of an electrical problem. But vehicles nowadays are so complex that it seems like no two problems are the same. There's no, like a throttle position sensor is bad on this particular vehicle or make and model. That stuff's kind of gone by the wayside. It's a lot of time you're tracing down circuit codes and see what's setting the fault. And a lot of it turns out to be salt, corrosion, bad connections, wires. But from the service standpoint, the most important thing you can do is try to quiz the customer as much as you can and try to get as much upfront information. You gotta nail it down as close as you can get to whether it's 30 miles an hour, turning left, hitting the brakes, first engagement, cold, warm, all that stuff plays into trying to solve a lot of these complicated problems. Yeah, every one of them, you gotta become level 3 certified, they call it, and you gotta keep up with continual annual training. There's master tech stuff that you gotta take once a month. There's tests and courses. The certification to be able to even hook up the scan tool on Chrysler's eyes is pretty intense. They make you take care of a lot of stuff. There's all kinds of specialty cars. I guess to even just think of being a mechanic in say a larger dealership or major metropolitan area or something like that, you're probably going to want to pick some sort of a focus. You like heating and air conditioning, focus on the HVAC systems. If you really like working with wiring, focus on electrical. If you love nuts and bolts, changing transmissions, parts, things of that nature. But everything's more or less specialized when you start getting into those big old dealerships. There's no universal tech anymore when you start getting out there. Even the 4 guys I got here, everyone's got their area of specialty. I got an electrical guy, I got a driveline guy. Chrysler training, that's what we do. Obviously you gotta get your own state certification and start off from there. You could go, it probably would be really good to get some sort of a college that you could find some technical, I don't know, like you got UTI and other places like that. That would definitely get you an advance and a step up if you really want to go into the career. Otherwise, you work your way from the bottom up and take the hard knocks from the get-go and and get yourself there. But there is plenty of training from Chrysler that the employees can take, and it keeps them up to date. But you still got to have the basics before you can even get rolling. But the trades, they're coming back around these days. They're becoming the old traditional being able to turn a wrench and bang a hammer is not necessarily the trades anymore. And the business and the industry is showing that you're going to have a half a brain on your head to become a technician nowadays too. So, and as time goes on, it'll start to relate, and pay scale should come up. It's going to have to. It's a complex piece of equipment right there. You got everything. There's heating, air conditioning, electronics.
Heated seat, cooled seat,
yeah.
Cooled steering wheel, heated steering wheel.
Yeah. You got to know about a lot of different things to be a technician if you want to be well-rounded. So the potential for remote repairs is coming more of a thing in the future. The customer may not even need to get the car to you. You might be going to them in their driveway and pulling out your little data link connector and your cell phone and dive into it right in their driveway. It's advancing. The industry has took leaps and bounds in the past 10 years. It changed dramatically, and it continues to keep changing. Biggest difference in like performance and stuff like that, or anything? Well, vehicles in general nowadays, just about everything is standard. Options are kind of becoming irrelevant as far as, say, power locks, windows, things of that nature. That's all standard equipment now. Your options basically all entails whether you want some fancy interiors, a little fancier exterior, wheels, things of that nature. A lot of it's just all aesthetic feel. That's all it's really options there. Bigger display screens, TVs. But the cars themselves, engines in particular, they just got one V6 engine, moved down to one 4-cylinder engine. We got a couple V8s just because of the trucks, but drive lines are pretty well standard.
How much do you think all of this will cost?
This particular job and repair is probably going to be about $7,000.
Oh my God.
How much is the bumper cover alone?
Yeah. Just this radiator piece that comes across right there, that right there is $2,000. Hard to fathom a chunk of fiberglass plastic costing that much, but yeah. Tweak the frame rail horns here a little bit.
And I think
You got to repair them.
the car you hit was probably worth $7,000. A little Japanese car.
Yeah. It doesn't take much to rack up a large bill and then on a vehicle repair and damages. That's why if you got a new vehicle, make sure you got good insurance, because it costs a lot of money to fix these cars back up. Trying to figure out where the water's coming in on that one. That one had a water leak somewhere in that rear quarter panel. Water was wicking its way down the wire harness into the radio amplifier, corroded the connection, and the radio speakers would work intermittently. So I had to get a new amplifier, obviously clean the connector, but now that we know that problem's fixed, we got to figure out where the water's coming in so it doesn't happen again. Never know what you're going to run into. There ain't much frame repair on vehicles these days. If it's an inner apron or something like this that gets damaged, you just more or less replace them. You don't try tugging and straightening like the old school frame days. It's a lot of replacing on bodywork nowadays, but
Is there a lot more welding or no? Just replacing parts like that, or is it still on
a lot of the body repairs are spot welds. Yeah, I think you bolt your fenders on, you bolt your bumper covers on and stuff, obviously. But as far as sheet metal goes, it's a lot of spot welding and panel bonding adhesive. You glue a lot of things together nowadays.
Oh yeah.
As far as being a certification, you got to have somebody has to be at least an ASC certification or state certification to technically work on the vehicles. But Like our younger fella here, he's got his state certification, but he's working underneath the body shop manager and advancing slowly. We've sent him to PPG paint courses, take some Chrysler body repair courses, things of that nature, but iCar is the big one for trying to figure out how to learn body stuff, but it's an art. Most of it's hands-on. Get used to feathering it out. If you got to do some repairs, know what you can and what you can't do. Diesel repair has become quite a specialty in itself too. There's lots of diesel repair shops nowadays. Not too many people that can work on the big rigs, semis, 5500 series trucks, things of that nature. That's becoming its own specialty market as well. A lot of the body shops, they're like owner operated. They own the shop and they do the work themselves.
Those
So
owners, are they like people that have been trained by somebody prior, or did they go
Yeah.
through a certification school?
yeah, there's actually
Like if
four
Steve
different
Andrews
four
or
different body shops in the area started off here working for us and
they
branched
learned
off
it
into
here
their
and
own.
then they went on